class we learnt about cardinal points of a coaxial optical system separated by distance d. So in that section we learnt the position of second principal point, that is alpha 2 is equals to minus fd divided by f1, and later we learnt position of second focal point, that is denoted by beta 2, and beta 2 is equals to f multiplied by 1 minus d by f2. So we learned the position of second principal point and the position of second focal point. Now let us learn the position of first principal point and the position of first focal point. So to do that we need to have the separate diagram. Understand that. Let us draw the diagram. So this is the principal axis y, z. So on this principal axis we are keeping two lenses which are kept coaxially. So let this be lens L1 So this is lens L1, and on this lens we are incidenting a light ray from the first focal point. A light ray is incident from the first focal point F1. So let this ray be P. So this ray will get incident on the lens L1 at a height H1. So you have lens L1. On this lens we are incidenting a light or a light ray PF1. F1 here is the first focus point. Now this ray here will get refracted from the lens, and that falls on the another lens which is kept parallel to the first lens. So this is the second lens L2. So you have two lenses L1 and L2, and these two lenses are parallel to each other. So now this light ray, which is PF1A, will gets refracted from the lens L1 and falls on the lens L2. So what will happen? This light ray will get refracted from the lens L1 and falls on the lens L2 at a height H2. So if you observe, H2 is greater than H1. Now let this point be B, capital B. Now this ray from the lens L2 gets refracted and appears as an emergent ray, and this ray is parallel to the principal axis YZ. So what you have two lenses which are parallel to each other. Now on the first lens we are incidenting a ray from the focal point. So PF1A is incident on the lens L1, and the ray will make a height H1 from the center of the lens, and this light ray will get refracted from the point A and falls on the lens L2. So this distance B, L2 is H2. If you observe, H2 is greater than H1. Now this ray again should get refracted from the lens L2, and this ray refracts as a parallel ray to the principal axis. So now one thing if you observe here, so we know that basic rule, when a light ray passes from the focal point after refraction, that ray will be parallel to the principal axis. So that we got here. So if a light ray is parallel or parallel ray when is incident on the lens, then that refracted ray will pass through the focus point. Now since the incident ray is coming from the focus point, so that forms the parallel ray to the principal axis. So this is kind of first part of the diagram. Now you have incident ray and you have emergent ray. So let us extend these two lines and see where these two lines meet. So dotted line here represent the extension of the incident ray and the refracted ray. So now this ray is incident ray. So if I draw, so this ray meets here. So this point here is A1. So if you draw the plane which is passing from the point A1 and crosses the principal axis at a point H1. So now this H1 is the first principal plane and H1 is the first principal point. Now if you see, the refracted ray is making angle. So let's suppose this be angle delta 2. And the incident ray is again making an angle delta 1. So now this angle here is overall angle of the deviation, that is delta. So you have three angles, delta 1, delta 2 and delta. So let us produce this ray further. So if you extend the refracted ray further, then you will get a parallel line to the principal axis. Now draw the perpendicular line which passes from the F1. Let this point be M. And now let us produce the AB ray. So if you draw the line from AB, then that meets somewhere here. So this is the extension of AB ray. So this is the principal axis and this is the extension of AB ray. So now if you draw the perpendicular line here, so that intersects the principal axis at F1 double prime, and this point here is G. So what you have? So you have two lenses which are kept coaxially, and now there is an incident ray PF1 which gets incident on the lens L1 at a height H1 above the center of the lens. Now this ray will get refracted and falls on the second lens at point B and at a height of about H2 from the center of the lens L2. Now the ray which has fallen at the point B will get refracted and forms the parallel ray to the principal axis. So this is the idea of the total incident and the refracted ray. Now what we have to do is second part. So we have to extend the emergent ray and the incident ray such that we will have the angle delta between them. After this we'll get a point A1 and H1. So if you pass or if you draw the line or a plane which passes the point H1 or cuts the principal axis at H1, so that point will be the principal point and the plane is principal plane. Now again we are extending this line and we have produced the AB line further. So this AB line will intersect the principal axis at the point F1 double prime. So as you see, BR is parallel to the principal axis. So the point F1 double prime can be said as what? The first principal focal point. So this is first principal focal point. F1 double prime is first principal focal point. So you have F1 double prime and F1. So F1 is first principal focus. You have F1 double prime and F1. So that are denoted here. So now with this diagram, let us find what is the position of first principal point and the position of first focal point. So let's start. The distance of first principal point H1 from the lens or from the first lens L1. So what we have to find is the distance of first principal point. So this is first principal point. So this distance from the point L1 we have to find. So that is L1 H1. So what are we supposed to find? We are supposed to find the distance of first principal point H1. With respect to what? With respect to L1. So L1 here denotes the lens 1 or the first lens. So now if you see this cuts here, so this point here is E. Now from the diagram, if you observe, EA1 is equals to L1 H1. So L1 H1 can also be written as EA1. So you have to find EA1 as well. So EAN will be what? So you have to find EA1 and there is an angle that is delta here. So from the triangle AEA1, AEA1. So you can write the tan theta or tan delta. So tan delta will be what? AE by EA1. AE by EA1. So now if you cross multiply, EA1 is equals to AE divided by tan delta. So that is what you have here. So L1 H1 is equals to EA1, which is equals to AE divided by tan delta. So this is the basic point. So now the unknown term here is AE. So from the diagram you can write AE. So to write AE you can consider delta. So you have already considered delta. Now let us take the delta 2. So AEB triangle will give the value of AE. So from triangle, which is the triangle AEB. So AEB. So from that, what you can write? Tan delta 2 is equals to AE divided by EB. So that is clear, right? So you have tan delta 2 here. So for tan, we need to consider this side and this side. So AE divided by EB. So that is what I have written here. So what we want AE. So if you cross multiply this, AE is equals to EB tan delta 2. So substitute equation 2 in equation 1. What we will get? L1 H1 is equals to AB tan delta 2 divided by AB divided by tan delta. It's not AB, it is tan delta. So finally you have the equation for L1 H1 has AB tan delta 2 by delta 1. So this is again in a complex form. Let us reduce this form. So if you take delta 1 or delta 2 and delta as very small angles, so then you can write this as d delta 2 divided by delta. So EB here gives the separation distance. So separation distance between two lengths. So E is here and B is here. So this here is the separation distance between two lenses. So now with this we can write EB tan delta 2 as d delta 2 and tan delta as direct delta. So now let us reduce this form as well. So again you have delta 2 and delta here. So from the diagram you can write what is delta 2 and delta. So now let us consider the triangle F1 double prime G and B. So you have this triangle here. And there is an angle delta 2 here. So from this diagram you can write tan delta 2 is equals to F1 double prime G divided by GB. So that is for delta 2. Now we are left with delta. So to write delta you have to consider this triangle F1, M and A1. So from this triangle you can write tan delta is equals to F1M and MA. F1M divided by MA. So from the diagram we get what is delta 2 and what is delta. So now let us write these two in a equation below. So what we got? We got D and delta 2 as what? Delta 2 is equals to G F1 double prime divided by BG, and this is divided by, for delta we got M F1 divided by MA1. So if you see here, does any term gets cancelled? No, right? But there is a term GF double prime which is equals to MF1. So how? If you see the diagram here, so the distance from G to F1 double prime is equals to the distance from M to F1. So these terms are more or less the same terms, so we can cancel GF1 double prime with MF1. So this term here will get cancelled with MF1. Why? Because GF1 double prime is equals to MF1 double prime. So this is not double prime here, it is just MF1. So what left is D, so MA1 divided by BG. MA1 divided by BG. So after cancellation we left with MA1 divided by BG. Now let us replace MA1 H1 F1 and BG with L2 F1. So we are writing MA1 and BG in terms of the focal points. So let us see from the diagram. So if you observe here, MA1 is equals to H1 F1 MA1 is equals to F1 H1 and BG. So B is here and G is here. So this BG is equals to what? It is equals to L2 F1 double prime. So let us substitute MA1 as H1 F1 and BG as L2 F1 double prime. So D H1 F1 divided by L2 F1 double prime. Why? Because we know that MA1 is equals to H1 F1 and BG is equals to L2 F1 double prime. So this is the condition. From this condition we have written MA1 by BG has H1 F1 divided by L2 F1 double prime. So now we know what is H1 F1 and what is L2 F1 double prime. So L1 H1 is F or the focal point of the combination of lenses. So H1 F1 is F, that is capital F, and L2 F1 double prime is what? Focal point of the second lens. So that can be written as F2. Since these 2 points are in negative or the opposite sign or in the opposite direction of the incident ray, we can take them as the negative. So I'm sorry, I said it as L1 H1, so it is H1 F1. So H1 F1 forms the focal point of the combination of lenses, and this is F, that is capital F. And since this point is in the left of the lens, so we can take this as a negative F, and this L2 F1 double prime is the focal point of the second lens, that can be written as F2. So let me write here L1 F1 is equals to minus F and L2 F1 double prime as minus F2. So substitute these two values here. So I can write D as minus F divided by minus F2. So this will get cancelled. What remains is DF divided by F2. So this is what? This is L1 H1. So in the last topic we have denoted of the second principal point as alpha 2. So let us denote this as alpha 1. Alpha 1, which is equals to L1 H1, which can be written as DF divided by F2. So this is the position of the first principal point. Alpha 1 is the position of first principal point. Now let us find the position of first focal point. So this is the position of first principal point. And now what we are supposed to find? We are supposed to find the position of first focal point. Position of first focal point. So in the figure, if you see, F1 is the first focal point. So this is the first focal point of what? This is the first focal point of combination of lenses. So how many lenses we have? We have 2 lenses. So this is the first focal point of 2 lenses. So the magnitude of distance of first focal point from the first lens will be what? So that is F1. So we are taking the magnitude. So this distance here, L1 F1, is the position of first focal point. Now this L1 F1 is equals to what? H1 F1 minus H1 L1. So we know that what is H1 F1 and we also know what is H1 L1. So with this logic we can find what is L1 F1. So let us write that. L1 F1 magnitude can be written as H1 F1 minus H1 L1. So this we understood from the diagram. Now H1 we know it is F and H1 L1 is we found, so that is D F by F2. So this is L1 F1. So if you take F common from here, what will be left? 1 minus D by F2. L1 F1. So L1 F1 is equals to F into 1 minus D by F2. So in figure F1 lies to the left of L1, therefore according to the sign convention L1 F1 is negative. So L1 F1 is negative. So I can write this as, and this can be denoted by beta 1. So beta 1 is what? The position of first focal point. So position of first focal point is beta 1. Beta 1 is equals to minus F multiplied by 1 minus D by F2. So with this we understood the position of first and second principal point and the position of first principal and second principal point. So let us write the principal point and the focal points. So principal points are denoted by alpha 1 and alpha 2. And the focal points are denoted by beta 1 and beta 2. So alpha 1 is equals to L1 H1, which is equals to dF by F2, and beta 1 is equals to L1 F1, which is equals to minus F1 minus D by F2, and alpha 2 is L2 H2, and this is minus dF by F1, and beta 2 is L2 F2, and this is minus F1 minus D by. So for beta 1 it is F2, it is again F2. So you have 4 points, alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1 and beta 2. So in the next section we'll solve few problems which are related to the second chapter that we have discussed so far. So this ends the chapter 2. So unit 2, that is cardinal points of an optical system. So in that we have learnt focal points, focal planes, and principal points and principal planes, and later we learnt nodal points, and after that we learnt Newton's formula and the rules to construct the image, and after this we learnt the equivalent focal length of two thin lenses which are separated by finite distance, and at last we found the cardinal points of a coaxial optical system of two thin lenses separated by distance.